Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to this week's edition of Mental Mondays on Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys coming by to watch the video and spend some time with me today. Always appreciate that. And guys, today we're going to be talking about friendships, friends that come into your life for different periods of time throughout the course of your life. Some people, there are some friends we have, they're, short-lived. Some of them go different times, some of them throughout your whole life. I sort of wanted to delve into that a little bit about why that is, why some friendships endure and why some are short-lived. And I think it's going to make for an interesting discussion in today's video. And also, guys, before we get started, I just wanted to give a big thank you to everybody out there that's been supporting Intuitive Angling by subscribing to the channel and using all the links we put in the description. If you're one of the viewers that are doing that, it's a big thank you for me and my family. We really appreciate that. Okay, guys, we've all had this throughout the course of our lives. Even if you're not very old, I mean, the older that you get, the more impactful this is. But we all have developed friendships ever since we were little kids that have different levels of intensity and different levels of interaction, and they last different periods of time. And I've always sort of wondered why that was. Why, looking at it in sort of a bigger picture, I've always wondered, what is it that makes people come into our lives? Is it just some type of random coincidence, or is there some type of a bigger picture, bigger plan behind it? And I'm sort of going to give you my thoughts on that. I'd be curious to get your guys as well. But I've had, a lot of different friends throughout the course of my life. I mean, I've had some casual friends, some friends that I've, acquaintances, friends that I've met and formed friendships that lasted, a year, a couple of years, some that have lasted 10 years, some that, I've had my entire life, just all different variations of friendships. And one of the things that I can tell you about friendships, and a little bit of the piece of advice I'll give you here, is the friendships that are worth having and the friendships that are good are the ones that are sort of effortless and you don't have to work at it, and they don't create any anxiety. It's like you can be yourself completely. You don't have to, you don't worry about being judged by that person, what you're going to say. Periods of silence are not uncomfortable, and it's either there or it's not. That's the thing about friendships, or even like you guys know that have been around and used to date in high school and dating when you're younger. The worst thing you can try to do is try to force some girl to like you. It's the same with friends. It's like you can't force friendships to work, and you can't manipulate them. It's just like they either work or they don't work. And there's a lot of different factors to that. I think inherently there's a lot of stuff within our personalities that is just a given. And in some situations, it's just a life situation that you're in. I'll use a prime example in my own life here. It's like throughout the course of my life, I've developed a lot of friendships in and around fishing, especially tournament fishing. And when I was fishing certain circuits, and I was there all the time, and other people were fishing the same circuits, we developed friendships. And then over the course of time, maybe somebody quit fishing that circuit, or backed away from it a little bit like that, and as a result, the friendship dissipated if you didn't keep it up. That's a pretty common one. And that's common in any occupation. It's like if you're around somebody all the time, you can form friendships, but when there's distance between that's where it becomes really difficult. And I think that's one of the biggest things that drives a wedge between what would otherwise be good friendships, between people your whole life, is that when you move. I've had a lot of that in my own life. You guys probably have too. It's like it's very difficult to carry on a long-term friendship with somebody that has moved across the country. It takes a lot of effort to do that. And another thing with that, it's like a lot of those friends that I've had over the years, it's like even though I don't have contact with them, that we never had any falling out or anything like that, or we never had any tension. It's just like life gets in the way. You get busy with your own life. They get busy with theirs. Life situations, take away the time you have with that person. But nevertheless, it's almost like if you saw that person again, even if you haven't seen them for 10 years, you would just follow up like nothing nothing, changed. Prime example is my good buddy Danny Crea. Danny Crea is one of my greatest friends for 20 years, And he still is, even though Danny and I don't hardly talk anymore. It's just like we don't fish the same circuits anymore. We just got busy with our own lives. But, it's not that anything else came in the way except that. That's just part of life, I think, that goes along that. So the friendships that endure and the friendships that last, that where you're close on there, you have to really, really appreciate that, and you have to nurture that because they are rare. Lifetime friendships are rare. And one of the things that I found out about it, it's like no friendship is going to be perfect. It's like there's no, because nobody's perfect. It's like everybody has their own little quirks. Everybody has things about them that irritates other people. But when you're good friends with somebody, you overlook those quirks, and you're allowed to get irritated with them, but it doesn't interfere with the friendship. Because I tell you one way to gauge a good friendship is like if you had a problem and it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and you got a problem. Said, man, I need some help here. It's not nothing life threatening, but it's like I really need you to be here right now. If that friend says I'm on my way without asking any questions, you got a good friend right there. Good friends have each other's back, and if you have somebody like that, it's very rare to have. Now, in the bigger picture, what is that? It's like what is it throughout the course of our lives where people come into our lives for different periods of time? One of the things, here's my own perception on it, my own belief on it. It's like I think that everybody that comes into our life is sort of there to teach you something, teach you some type of a lesson. What that lesson is, it could be anything. Because I really believe one of the things that it's not really a belief system, it's more of an intuition, and it's more like an innate intelligence that I can feel within my own being, is that we move through eternity and we move through existence with sort of a group of kindred souls a little bit. And each one of those kindred souls, can have different agendas, but nevertheless, you're always sort of like around each other. And maybe, throughout the course of eternity, you have different interactions with those friends. Like some friends that you're good friends with them for 5 years, and then they go on their own way. Maybe that's the appropriate time that you had with those people. That's the only thing that really makes sense to me, because when you have good friendships, there's a connection there that is really special. It's sort of a magical when you have a good friendship with somebody that that brings something into your life, and somebody that you can have an equal energetical exchange with. Another good trait about, or another thing about a common thread amongst friendships that last, is there's that equal exchange of energy, and one is not an energy sucker. Now, an energy sucker is somebody out there that when you have a conversation with them, you're drained after you get done with it because they don't let you get a word in. It's just like they can't stop talking. And when they do stop talking, and if they try to listen to you, it's like you can tell they're not processing it. It goes in one ear and out the other. Those, like I said, that can be a very frustrating situation, and those friendships hardly never last. But when you have a friendship where you have an equal give and take, like, you relate something to that friend, they listen, they're a good listener, they relate something back to you, you're a good listener. That even balanced energetical exchange is really critical to having and maintaining a good friendship. So, point of the matter is, out there, it's like when I try to I'm trying to give advice on these Middle Mondays like that. The main advice I can give you guys is don't force your friendships. And don't feel bad if a friendship doesn't materialize or manifest the way that you want. I've seen some situations where people really want to be friends with one person, but for whatever reason that just doesn't happen. Don't sweat that. If it doesn't happen, it just wasn't meant to happen. The friendships that come into your life effortlessly and naturally, those are the ones that need to get your attention, and those are the ones you need to put your energy around that. And another thing with that is, like I said, back to energy suckers a little bit. Stay away from energy suckers. Energy suckers are not good to be around. I mean, there's just, you know what I'm talking about. You guys have been around those people where it's like they take a breath and they won't stop talking. And like I said, when you try to talk to them, it's just like it's not processing. You can tell that they're listening, but they're not listening. And those are the friendships that never last there. But anyway, just wanted to throw a few ideas out there. Hope you guys are doing well. Let me know what you all think, and we'll talk next week.